Everyone assumes dog licking is simple. Affection, love. Your dog is happy and they are showing it with their tongue. And sometimes that is true, but sometimes it is not. And the problem is that most owners cannot tell the difference. They see the licking, they feel the warmth of it, and they respond to all of it the same way. With laughter, with affection, with encouragement. What they do not realize is that some of what they are reinforcing is not happiness. Some of it is anxiety. Some of it is communication they were never meant to ignore. Some of it is a dog trying very hard to tell them something that keeps getting misread as cute. Today we are going through what dog licking actually means, the real psychology behind each type, what your dog is communicating, and when it is something you should pay closer attention to. The evolutionary baseline. Before we break down the types, we need to understand where licking comes from, because it is not random behavior. It has deep evolutionary roots that explain almost everything that follows. Wolf pups lick the mouths of returning adult pack members to stimulate regurgitation of food. It is a feeding behavior. The pup is essentially requesting a meal from a returning hunter. This behavior transitions in domestic dogs into a generalized social and affiliative signal. The physical action is preserved. The original feeding function transforms into something broader, a gesture of appeasement, connection, and social communication. This is why licking in dogs is never purely one thing. It carries multiple layers of meaning simultaneously: biological, social, emotional, and which layer is dominant in any given moment depends entirely on context. Reading the context is the skill most owners are missing. Affection, the one you know. Yes, sometimes licking is exactly what it looks like. Genuine, uncomplicated affection directed at someone the dog loves. The affection lick has a particular quality to it. It is calm. The dog's body is soft and relaxed. The tail is loose. The eyes are soft. There is no urgency to the licking. It is rhythmic, unhurried. The dog seems settled rather than activated by it. This type of licking activates oxytocin in both the dog and the human being licked. It is genuinely bonding behavior. The mouth and face area carries the highest concentration of human scent information, and licking is one of the most intimate forms of sensory contact available to a dog. They are not just expressing affection, they are taking you in. This is the lick worth receiving, the one that means what you always assumed it meant. Appeasement. The one most people miss. This is the most commonly misread type of licking, and it matters enormously. Appeasement licking is not about love. It is about social navigation. It is a dog communicating, "I am not a threat. Please do not be a threat to me. We are okay. Everything is fine," through a behavior that looks, on the surface, identical to affectionate licking. It comes from that same ancestral gesture. The wolf pup, licking the returning adult. It is a submissive, deferential signal. "I am smaller than you in this moment. I am not challenging you. Please respond to me with safety." The difference is in the context and the body language surrounding it. Appeasement licking tends to happen when a dog feels uncertain or slightly threatened, when you are visibly upset, when there is tension in the environment, when a new or intimidating person is present, when the dog has done something and is not sure how you will respond. The dog licking you during an argument in your household is not trying to be sweet. They are managing their own anxiety and attempting to de-escalate a situation their nervous system is reading as threatening. That deserves acknowledgement, not just a laugh and a push away. Stress licking, when it becomes compulsive. This is the type that most urgently requires attention and most reliably gets ignored. Stress licking is repetitive, frequent, and often contextually disconnected from social interaction. The dog licks you not in greeting, not in a specific emotional moment, but constantly, during quiet evenings, during routine moments, whenever they have access to you. It has a driven quality. The dog seems almost unable to stop. If you move away, they follow and resume. The licking of hands and arms becomes a default behavior rather than a specific communicative act. This pattern is a self-soothing behavior. The repetitive oral stimulation of licking activates the parasympathetic nervous system and temporarily lowers arousal and anxiety. It works, in the short term, as a regulation strategy. But the fact that a dog needs to regulate this frequently and this intensely is the signal most owners miss entirely. A dog that licks you compulsively is a dog that is carrying more anxiety than their system can manage independently. The licking is not affection, it is coping. And coping mechanisms that need to run constantly are pointing towards something in the dog's environment or daily experience that is not working for them. Taste and information gathering. Not all licking is emotional. Some of it is purely informational, and understanding this type helps clarify when licking is communicative versus when it is simply investigative. Dogs gather an extraordinary amount of information through taste and scent. Licking skin gives them access to salt, sweat composition, traces of what you have touched, eaten, been exposed to. They are reading your chemical biography in real time. This type of licking tends to be brief, curious, and specific. The dog licks a particular area. your hand after you have cooked, your arm after exercise, your face after you have been outside, and then stops. They got what they came for. They are not seeking prolonged contact, they are sampling. Recognizing this type matters because it is the one most worth not over-reinforcing. A dog that learns that investigative licking produces enthusiastic human response will use licking more broadly as an attention-getting tool, blurring the informational behavior into a demand behavior over time. Wound licking and the caretaking instinct dogs lick wounds, both their own and their owners. And this behavior has a specific biological basis that is worth understanding correctly. Dog saliva does contain compounds with mild antibacterial properties. Historically, wound licking served a genuine hygienic function in wild canids. But the more psychologically interesting dimension of this behavior in domestic dogs is the caretaking instinct it reflects. When a dog seeks out and licks an injury on their owner, a cut, a bruise, a surgical site, it is not random. They have detected the chemical signals of damage or inflammation through their olfactory system and are responding with a behavior that, in their social world, is associated with care and group maintenance. This is one of the licking behaviors most worth receiving with awareness. Your dog is not being opportunistic or strange. They are doing what their social instincts direct them to do when a member of their group is hurt. They are taking care of you in the only language available to them. Demand licking. When you trained it without realizing, this final type is entirely human created, and it is extremely common. At some point, early in the relationship, the dog licked you and you responded positively. You laughed, you petted them, you gave them attention. The dog's learning system registered the outcome. Licking produces attention. Licking produces engagement. Licking works. And so, licking became a tool. A demand behavior, not an expression of emotional state, but a reliable mechanism for generating a specific response from you. Demand licking has a particular quality once you know what to look for. It tends to escalate if ignored. It often comes with eye contact. The dog is watching your face while they lick, monitoring for the response they are seeking. It happens at specific, predictable moments. When you are distracted, when you have stopped paying attention to them, when they want something. The dog is not expressing love in these moments. They are pressing a button that has always worked. And the owners who find this behavior excessive or difficult to interrupt are usually the ones who press back the hardest in the beginning. Licking is never just one thing. It is a vocabulary. And like any vocabulary, it rewards the people who learn to read it. Knowing the difference between affection and appeasement, between genuine connection and anxiety relief, between caretaking and demand. That is what changes how you respond. And how you respond is what shapes the relationship going forward. Drop a comment. I read every single one. Subscribe. New video every week. See you next time.